I think you should do the intro today.
Yeah, this is a really good day for me. And it's a good day for me in technology and being on shows and everything. So that's the intro. Is this the intro? Are we live?
No, she's got to tell us you're live in three, two.
Oh,
No one can
Three,
hear any of this.
2, 1,
good.
you're on.
I assume they heard all of that.
Okay, great.
I don't think we're on.
That's all I have to say.
Lithian, I don't think that. There you go. All right. After you, please.
What?
You're doing the intro. You're doing the
Oh
welcome.
God, that was it. I thought we're done. Like we're introed. We're here. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the
That was
show.
the intro.
I'm not okay.
You know we have a
Everybody, it's
phone
my fault
number
that
and
I
stuff.
was late. Completely my fault. It's also my fault that nothing is ready. Welcome to the show. We'll be more ready on the phone call. If you want to call in and tell us why I should think that MAGA is good for women, why I should want to live in Trump's America, why I should be against abortion, tell us why you believe that a God exists and why it matters, and tell us if you think America is a Christian nation and should be, and I don't know. Did I cover some things there? If you want to call in and debate us on any of that, it's 336-543-2101.
Y'all have been building this menu while I've been gone. It's up to like 14 things.
I love that you said y'all as though you were including me in that, as though I had
No,
anything to do with it.
This is literally your version of the show menu. This is yours. It's like specific to
And I have all my co-hosts to thank for that because I have never once typed anything in there.
Well, they've been adding
the
things
best
to
thing.
this thing. I don't know what's been happening while I've been gone. You did, I think, the last show.
I
but
mean,
you did
actually,
without
it was
me.
me. I did it all. I'm incredible at it.
So who came up with trad wives is not peak? That sounds like you.
I think that was either Javon or Forrest. And I said, yeah, great idea. Can you imagine me saying
So
peak?
wait, on the show where we try to focus a little bit more about how bad these things are for women, the menus being set by men.
They're doing my work for me because I'm the boss.
Okay. At your behest.
Do you like how I twisted that? I can barely show up, and even on my, like when I'm trying my best, I had all my things ready to go on time, and then it doesn't work. It's like when you show up for the test you've been preparing for like a year for, and then your pencil breaks right when you're starting the test, and you're trying to explain to the teacher that you care about this more than any of the other students, and they're like, okay, but you're the reason we're all waiting. So anyways.
Well, all the other students aren't late, though.
I wasn't late. I was early, and
True.
I still failed. That's the problem.
Early and broken.
I still couldn't get my headphones to work.
It is funny. I feel like the reason why I get the credit for the show always being late is because people aren't here early enough to anticipate if things are going to be broken. And then when things are broken, I'm always the one fixing it. So they're waiting on me to fix it. And now I've gotten the blame for everybody.
I don't think it's ever been your fault. At least never when I'm working with you.
It happens every now and then, but people know by the time they know the show is late, they know they're waiting on me to do something, which is usually fixing somebody else's shit. It's like pretty much 90% of the time. Anyway, all I know is that the next time that Jovan is on the show, ask him why the show started late, even if it didn't start late. Like, Jovan, why was your show late today? That'd be funny. That'd be funny.
Is that a bit we're doing?
I don't know. Just blame him. Blame him.
Okay.
It'd have to be a bit because it happens so rarely. Blame Jovan. Hashtag blame Jovan. We will have the podcast tomorrow. We're doing podcasts Tuesdays and Thursdays. Schedules are actually going to be changing a little bit here in the future. We're moving things around. Tuesdays our Chewed Gum is actually going to be happening an hour earlier, starting very soon. And then Chewed Gum will lead into the podcast, which will lead into an evening Calling It Now. The only thing staying the same there is the Calling It Now. So that one's going to be good. That one's going to be good. Maybe you could do it now. What's 5 o'clock for, what's 5 p.m. Central for you in Finland?
2 a.m. I think, or 1 a.m.
Easy.
One of those.
That's fucking easy. Jesus, that'd be so easy to do.
It would be if I didn't have to get up at 7 the next morning. Maybe some of them I can do.
I'm teasing. You don't have to
Let's
change
see
them.
if I can do the one that I'm supposed to do and get my shit working. That would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Martine thinks he's getting in on the line. Martine, we're gonna say $200. $200 if Martine, you said a $200 super chat, Martine, and you are able to get on the line, but nobody likes you. And
Have we
nobody
talked to him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Martine's that British guy who is utterly insufferable, and we will only take now if financially incentivized to do it. Martine is the British Andrew, essentially. He is
Oh
utterly.
man,
He's
I
like
like.
British Andrew if Andrew tried to get into being Phil Broy.
Nice. I
You
just
know.
forget all of these. Like to me, it's a brand new call every time until like halfway through, and then I remember that person, and I'm like, oh, that's why I forgot about you.
Yeah. Anyway, but if you would like to call and debate, and you're not one of the people who are so desperate for our attention, who literally try to call every week, despite the fact that they have been rejected week after week after week. I think Chewed Gum might have accidentally taken Martine at some point. But- oh, did Javon up the price? Well, I'm feeling generous. So if Martine sends $200, we'll do it for Martine. 200 336-543-2101 336-543-2101. We are leftist atheists who don't believe the Bible is good for pretty much anything. Well, that's not true. It's good for a
Right.
lot
I
of
was about to say I can
things.
think of a few things it's good for. We
Genocide,
we ran out of
apologetics.
toilet paper earlier this week, and
No. The Bible's pages would be so rough. Leaves are legitimately better than like
I think it
blow
could
dry.
be
Shoot a hose at it.
fine for like a little pat dry
A little pat
moment.
dry. Yeah. That is
Yeah.
the funny thing, because that's like a common like, ha ha ha, I'm an edgy atheist. I'm gonna wipe my butt with it. And I'm like, you should try it. It's really not pleasant. It's like it's not that good. And then like some
You're
Bibles
gonna
have
say
this
that's bad.
wax, this like kind of waxy thing to them that makes them not even that good for lighting. Like they're not even that good as fire starter. They're fine as fire fuel, but fire starter, not as much. So we're actually releasing a new product where every page is made of lint, and it lights on fire so easily that you actually need a permit to handle it, because it's actually, the pages are made of heavily made of potassium, and so that when you drop the Bible in water, it explodes. That's what happens if you drop potassium in water. Potassium, right? Lithium, I think too.
Yeah. No, I think it's potassium. I think you're right.
Everything on that first column in theory, except for hydrogen. Hydrogen doesn't explode in water. It, I think, becomes more water. Usually it bonds with oxygen if there are free floating oxygen molecules. Anyway, 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. We'd like to talk to you. If you feel like you've got some right-wing Christian position that you believe that even if, let's say, you could just pitch it to us. Like, hey, look, sure, you're an atheist, but don't you think the Bible is good for this? Don't you think it's better for this? Blah, blah, blah. And the answer is probably not. Probably not, but let's find out. I'm going to get rid of some of these edgy ones on the menu. I don't care that much about, and we'll try and not get demonetized by putting the word rapist physically in text on the screen that often. Somebody should have ran interference on that one.
That wasn't me. I can tell you now.
And yet, since you are a woman, I will blame you. I will blame you for the failures of the men at this organization. Because
What's new?
I'm about to Pam Bond at you. You just got pammed. You got pammed. 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. I'm going to put an exclamation point after abortion all 9 months. Christian God is unworthy of worship. It's definitely a Forrest one. I don't disagree. I just find those so boring, because now we're talking about
I
the
like those
meta of like,
ones.
let's accept. All right, well, you can keep that one, I guess, except for I already deleted
I
it.
mean, you're right. I don't
Somebody's
like those
like,
conversations, but I like
I'm
that
saying.
edgelord statement.
I'd probably watch a short of Forrest describing why and be like, haha, hell yeah. But at a certain point, it's like, why are we throwing away the baby with the bathwater? First, let's establish that the God exists at all.
Yeah. No,
Before we
I
talk
agree.
about what he's worthy of. This is what it's actually funny. Like, this is kind of me with Mormonism. I used to be like so sharp on all the Mormon topics, and just like, Yeah, and this is a clear problem that's untrue, and this is a clear problem that's untrue. And then they have these adaptable, shameless apologetics, Mormons.
Yep.
They do not care. As long as they feel like the Holy Spirit is giving them the green light, it couldn't be that they're lying. These can't be lying. By the way, my shirt says Professor Mike can't debate. You can get yours at linemerch.com. If you know, you know, it's sort of an inside group thing, but linemerch.com, we made it super cheap because if a bunch of people were to wear Professor Mike can't debate shirts and tag him on Threads and Instagram, that would just be such a shame. Professor Mike, for those of you who don't know, agreed to a debate with me, canceled the debate day of, said he would reschedule, kept claiming for 3 months he's going to reschedule when he has the time, despite the fact that he's doing TikTok all the time and talking a shit ton of shit all over the internet. And wears these shirts. Well, no, he doesn't wear these shirts. He wears a shirt to the gym. He's not brave enough to put these things on and wear them out in actual public. He wears a shirt to the gym and then uses AI to change what the shirt says. So it might say, liberals can't debate, patriarchy over feminism. But again, not things he's willing to actually wear out and about, because despite being a guy obsessed with his own body and clearly mainlining steroids, he is kind of a puss. He's kind of a big old puss.
Wait, why is he actually a professor?
No,
Has
of course not.
So he's just named himself Professor Mike.
Yeah.
What?
He's professed.
Can I just start calling myself Dr. Promise just because it sounds fun?
Come from a tradition of Christian fake doctors, people who like call themselves doctor who are not worthy of the title. So
excuse me, I come from the version where actually they don't do that because they consider that to be intellectualism, which is frowned upon because, you know, we're not supposed to rely on our own senses. We're just supposed to vibe with the Holy Spirit, basically. So being a doctor is kind of lame.
Undereducated.
Exactly. Exactly.
Dearest, would you bring me a bottle of water? I'm getting the hiccups. Anyway, so that's what's happening with Dr. Mike. But if you'd like to call in and you'd like to explain to us, you'd like to call to debate or call to discuss our differences, you can do so at 336-543-2101. Otherwise, Promise and I haven't gotten to chat and hang out for a while, so I don't actually even care if we get any calls. Would you bring, is my black binder out there? I want to show her my new Pokemon cards. I went to a Pokemon card convention this last weekend.
Why was I talking about you and Pokemon recently? I think I was doing a live and somebody asked me my favorite Pokemon and I was like, sadly, I don't have one because I wasn't allowed to, like, I didn't have Pokemon and then I never really got into it. And so I don't know the names. And then I think somebody asked what yours is. And I was like, sadly, I also don't know that.
Hurts my feelings.
Jimmy.
Alakazam. Well, it's more Abra, but the Alakazam line is my favorite line of Pokemon. Okay, I also am very connected to hey, so people in the meantime, send super chats and we will answer them while we wait to see if anybody is willing to call in and talk. We might pull up the news. We are going to have the podcast tomorrow. I'm putting in a lot of work all the time. Luthien can tell you I'm literally like sat at my fucking computer all day, every day, and it kind of bums her out. But we did get to have a really nice weekend together. Where
was the convention?
The convention was really nice mostly just to get away and do something new.
Can you say where it was, or
yeah, in Austin? It was like the official Austin card show. I can't remember what it's called. It's past now. Nobody's gonna come find me and kill me now. But I'll pull some cards.
I'm trying to be nice.
336-543-2101. Why did you say that like I attacked you?
I don't know. I'm sensitive right now.
That is so. That's so. You and
that was so relatable.
I know. I'm like you and Luthien. I will just say the words. I'll just be like, no, it's fine to say, and then you'd be like, why are you?
Well, to be fair, sometimes I think that I take something you said like not as you attacking me, and you meant it as attacking me, and then I realize in hindsight that that was like a dig at me, and I'm like oblivious to it. So I'm trying to get ahead of it now.
Or digs at you. There are at best slight sarcastic swipe bits.
That's what I mean.
That's
what I mean. Whatever you feel comfortable calling them. Nothing bad.
Just I'm not just straight up
things that go over my head. No, you're like I told you if I ever had to have a falling out with a friend, I would choose you because you would be the nicest.
That has turned out to be true. There's a whole ass YouTuber who keeps trying to reemerge as a YouTuber who deserves my full ire and to be destroyed by me, and yet I don't do it. Mostly because I've realized too, this individual.
Tell me about it later.
Oh, you know who it is. Is that piece of shit who back when it seemed like I was getting canceled and it was like, cool, I didn't do any of this stuff. Turned out there was a man behind the scenes pulling all those strings. That guy. Anyway,
I don't ever remember names, but yeah, I remember the character.
Yeah, and he's trying to work his way back, his proximity back, and it's this whole stupid thing, and would deserve. And yet, I've actually done nothing to him, virtually nothing. I've had a couple of events where I'm like, nope, if that guy's present, I won't be. But that's basically the most. But it's kind of funny because he. On the inverse, has tried to do a lot while saying to people, and he just like is really trying to stop me from succeeding in this field. It's like, bro, your lack of interesting content, your inability to. So this happens periodically, actually kind of often to you. As soon as you grow to some level, there will be people who recognize that you are above them, and so to get as far not above them like better than, but like their progress, there is a real spot where they will have progressed further than you. And there are a lot of people whose instinct isn't, okay, I will go and match the quality of content. I will go and make a better show. I will go do better debates. I will go model it differently. They'll go, no, this person's ahead of me. I'm going to go and try and bring them down below me. And then without making any better content, I will technically be ahead of them. That happens a lot in our stages. So that's been happening with situations of individuals who we've worked with in the past and will no longer work with because they essentially usually they take a slight grift to the right. They start doing more basically. Here's the number one thing you have to check whenever you start seeing people who are like, by the way, I'm going to expose The Line or Matt or Jimmy and I've got these problems with them. Go check their content in their feeds. You will find something that broadcasts they're transphobic very quickly.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't it always like it's always
too far
trans people that bothers them.
Yeah, always. Or women. I mean, in the most recent drama people have tried to force with us, it's women. These are my favorite cards I picked up this weekend. This is like an ancient Mew that I didn't have one of.
Nice. Like I like those colors.
Yeah, this one's cool. And then this one is a Mewtwo Mew. I did a lot of trades for this one because this card is otherwise, but a Mewtwo Mew.
That's
combo.
Very cool looking. Can you how much are these worth?
That Mewtwo Mew card I just showed you is probably around $300. It would be usually worth. I think
also I have.
Go on.
The worst eye rash on both of my eyes, and it's like making my eyelids stick. So if I'm blinking a lot, that's what's happening.
You're gonna look like a robot that's bugging out.
I feel like that.
That's what happens a lot of times. As far as cute additions, Luthien, I have one of your Leafeons. Luthion's super into Leafeon. So I've got a Leafeon.
Let me see. Wait, where's? Oh, I see why. That's very cute and cool looking at the same time.
I also picked up this.
Wait, I know that one. That's Pikachu, isn't it?
That's 4 Pikachus. So you were close.
Look at me.
Still failed.
Okay, well. that was a dig.
Of a side dig.
Shut up.
And then these ones are like a whole set called first partners, and they're like the starters from the various games. And so these ones are awesome. These ones aren't too bad. I think the most expensive one in there's like $40, but most of them are like $8 to $10. Thank you. Oh, she grabbed some of my. I got some new. I got a new Alakazam that I didn't have yet.
Oh, I do like that one. That's
cool. Alakazam in the lore has a 4-digit IQ, which I love to think about because that's basically impossible. You're not going to catch a Pokemon with a 4-digit IQ. 4 digits means minimum 1,000 IQ. You're not catching that Pokemon unless that is a part of its plan. Like if it decides to be caught by you, It's just craziness. And then I also like this Pokemon called Marshadow. This one's a little too busy to explain to you, but nobody else likes Marshadow. I fucking love Marshadow. I'm the only one, I guess, who loves Marshadow. He's so cool.
Show me.
I'm going to show you. He's the cutest little mythical ghost boy. He's like Casper the friendly Pokemon.
That sounds adorable.
I agree. He's wonderful. Where are all my Marshtomps?
He's so ghostly. He's disappeared.
Dan, you don't have my. I've
You're
got
not
my
laughing at my joke.
card. No, I thought it was really, really funny.
Okay.
My
well,
sides. I'm just teasing.
This is how you feel all the time when I don't laugh at your jokes.
Ouch! That's what a dick sounds like. Mistake. Ow! My pride. I don't know where all my
I don't laugh because you're not funny. I laugh because I
Marshtomp.
don't laugh because I'm too dumb to know that a joke has been made.
Where the hell are all my Marshadows? Anyway, Pokemon, and I love Pokemon, and I built my own application, and then someone will be like, if you used Coding Agent, you didn't build anything. Okay, fine. But I built my own application for inventory tracking, and so I can scan my cards with this card scanner, and it can even scan them in their top loaders, and then I can keep track of where they all are, and then
you can just look them up on your phone.
Correct. I can see a live, and every single one is photo. So I can even be like, hey, here's one I have. Here's a very detailed scan. So you can, examine it for damage or whatever. If you're
incredible.
I'm pretty much the best. Luthien,
you want to see what I made
in your binder? Because I only found
not in my binder, but I can check my bag, but I don't think I have them.
Yeah, mine have disappeared somewhere.
Do you want to see my little thing that I've been working on?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Of course I do.
I started it. I get myself little activities now so that I stay awake when I do the show. So I started this when I was working with Seth last weekend. And it's this cute little, you're not even looking. It's this little sticker thing. So you have sheets of these little tiny stickers and you have to use tweezers, and I'm building my own little store, which will look like that store when I'm done.
I feel like you've never done this, but I feel like you give me the vibe of like if I told you how much I want to go make a tiny town with like a working train, you'd be like, okay, Jimmy, like, we get it. We hear the tism. And yet that has the exact same energy to me if you got really into it.
Do you think I haven't made a tiny town for a train before?
Like I'm talking like a full-size room.
I started it. Then
did you really?
Yeah, we started it. Yeah. Well, and it was more like a thing for Marvel, what do you call it? The little action figures. And we were building. Well, I started building like a fairy garden thing where I made like little mountains and like a river that was going through, and I used the epoxy and all of that. Sadly, I lost that in the divorce, but I was doing. I should do another one somewhere. Yeah, actually.
Someone's actually complaining about. No, actually, in America, it is Pokemon. In fact, Pokemon gotta catch up. It's in the song. Just because the literal Japanese, and I don't even think they say Pokemon over there. So no, I reject your it's Pokemon, not Pokemon.
From where I come from, it's called Pocket Monster, and it's demonic.
The very best, like no one ever was. Pokemon. They do not. Yeah. Get over it. Get over it. 336-543-2101. We're doing a debate show. You can call in at 336-543-2101
Yeah, obviously.
if you think Pokemon are demonic.
Also, I resent your comment about me giving you a hard time about nerdy shit because I feel like I never have done that because I'm very supportive of that and other people.
I feel like I've done things before where you've been seeing me like go off and rant about it, and then you get the smile on your face, and you're just like, it's showing.
Because it's cute.
Okay.
I think it's cute when people have like a little thing that they're really into and passionate about that I don't get it at all.
If this was if I was Javon right now, the way I would be turning that into like, oh, thank you for calling my autism cute. That's not infantilizing at all. I'm not Javon.
But
so
because I'm a woman, you're not gonna.
right. You're already infantilized for a living. So it's
Right.
kind of like, are we going to compete on this? Are we going to compete on this? Are we really
God.
going to go there?
Someone call and debate us, please,
336
before
543
something happens.
What would happen?
I don't know.
Should we debate?
I'm in a bad spot. No, I would just start crying instantly. I'm very sure of it. I've had like the worst week.
So call in and try to make Promise cry, guys. 336.
Yeah. I would love to talk to a misogynist right now. Actually, I would love that so much.
I don't know if that's going to help or hurt us getting those calls. 336-543-2101. 336-543-2101. It's always hard when I've noticed these Monday shows are a crapshoot. Sometimes they're like so full, but when they're not busy, they're really not busy. And it seems like
it's weird.
I think that it's something to do with it being like Monday work hours kind of thing. That's how mornings in general are. Anytime we've tried morning shows, we've done it before where we're like, let's do a show like at 11. And it's like, oh my God, we got so many calls. So then we try a second time and we get 0 calls. It's just trying out these different things. But we're also working on distributing to additional platforms and stuff. So we will be competing in this oversaturated market. We made it look so good that now everybody does these call-in shows. There's that issue too. And so now we have to survive the over concentration period. I probably shouldn't tell people this because this is like very much strategy of business survival. But basically, we're now also in a market of total and utter oversaturation. And so what happens now is it gets harder for everybody. And we know this is the case. We know that everybody's having a harder time getting all the calls and stuff they need. And as a result, a lot of people drop out. And so the market will eventually balance out. So you have to survive that period of time while not sacrificing quality of content. And so we're kind of in that phase right now where there's been a huge influx leading into the midterms of people being like, hey, I want to do some version of that. And some people make it easier. It's obviously difficult to compete. There's a certain point of competition that can be difficult where there are a lot of people who will let everybody and anybody on, which is funny because we get so much shit for like, why would you even let this or platform them or blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, we actually have a system by which we are flagging for trolls. We are doing our best to like keep trolls out by making them use a legitimate call system. And those people who dumpster fires are very attractive. And so those people who just want to watch dumpster fires, they want to watch the person who takes the call knowing they're probably about to get called the N-word, and then that person has a big emotional response to the N-word, even though it's apparently it's like the 500th time it's happened to you, and yet it's still fresh. It's weird.
There's somebody in the comments that should totally call in. Saying 80% of divorces are started by women. Women destroy families and even murder their children, giving them political power regardless. Call in.
336-543-2101. 336-543-2101. We don't sweat you. We're not impressed.
Oh, apparently they're being not chill in the chat.
Oh, and just so you know too, we don't allow people to debate in the live chat. Your only option to debate is by calling in. So you can keep spamming.
Then you have to talk to a woman.
But it's going to keep getting deleted like over and over. So the way you call in and talk to us and tell us 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. How are you?
I'm okay. I lost a friend last week. I think you know that.
Yeah.
So I'm in the I'm on the weird
parts.
The weird sads about it.
I become so desensitized to losing people I know that it's like, it's not that I don't experience anything anymore. It just doesn't slow me down anymore.
Yeah, I felt that way, but this one is, I think I was unprepared for how it would. Well, you were on the phone with me, I think, when I found out, and I was like kind of numb about it, and now it's gotten more real.
I'm so numb. I'm so used to it that I've been getting closer with one of our constant chatters. Billy and I have been hanging out more, even though I know he's gonna die. And so I'm literally like, that's kind of happened too. By the way, we will probably have, I don't know if it'll be a full-on show or what it's going to be, but I did check in with Dave Warnock this last week, so just so you guys know, he's doing okay. We might be able to get an appearance from him at some point in the near-ish future. But right now, he's relative to his experience trucking along. His doing okay baseline is obviously different than a lot of us. So those of you who remember Dave Warnock, you should be able to get something. Billy texted me asking if I got that Alakazam. There was this Alakazam that I was thinking about trading some of my more valuable slabs to get. That was like, I had to think of it. I think they were asking for $1,000 for it. I was just telling Billy, I was like, man, I want this thing, but I'd have to trade. And he was just asking if I got it. No, I did not get the $1,000 old school Alakazam. Wasn't even the most expensive Alakazam at the show. We later saw one that was $3,400. Isn't that crazy?
That is absolutely wild.
These are some of my Alakazam slabs.
Look at that.
Bowen, you calling in? We're ready to talk to you. 336-543-2101. We're ready to have that debate with you. 336-543-2101. You know, it is interesting.
Yeah, Colin, tell us why women shouldn't vote.
By the way, it is funny the way they always go with, what's the exact number? What
About the divorce
yeah. Because I feel like whenever they say 80, you go look up and you're like, why? If your point is so strong, why did you need to exaggerate? Because it's actually 69%. So why did you need to add, Bowen in chat? Why did you need to add 11% to make your point? In fact, 69% still suggests that there is a statistical difference, that women are more likely to initiate a divorce than a man is. So why would you make that? Why would you need to inflate it when there's already enough numbers to establish just the baseline point? Now you then think that matters and is reflective of something negative. Right. That's what we were going to talk about.
Tell me why it doesn't make men look shitty for not knowing when a relationship is no longer something that should be kept.
Right.
To me, that's what that demonstrates. Well, there's a whole conversation that I would love to have about it, but apparently that person is too scared to call in. So,
and then you get into other things like who is more likely to suggest marriage counseling and marriage therapy when things are tough? Women. They are more likely to put efforts in to try to solve it. In general, women are much more likely to go to therapy, and men are more likely to not go to therapy and more likely to turn down therapy when requested. So it's one of those things where it's like you think that you've made like some point here, but you haven't. All right, we'll start talking to Aaron in Tennessee. Aaron in Tennessee, you are on the line with Promise and Jimmy. How are you, Aaron?
What's going on, guys? I'm good.
Cool.
How are you guys doing?
You know, existing, still recovering from some stuff, but you know, we're here. What's up?
Well, I saw y'all weren't too busy and figured I should just call in. I basically, I'm just in the process of deconstructing, found myself in it. I didn't realize this. Just been kind of learning a lot and realizing that Christianity seems pretty wrong, but there's still a lot of things in your topic is that, you know, the Bible sucks for women. I agree, but I'm also kind of like twisted in my mind still, so I'd like y'all to give me some facts about how this is true, how the Bible sucks for women. I want y'all to beat it out of me, essentially.
That's not really how it works. So only you can change your mind, but if you want to bring specific challenges, we can present to you the challenges but so we would need to know what it is you still are attached to. Let's start here. Aaron, we did the Bible sucks for women. An easy counter would be, can you give us a single positive that the Bible lays out for women?
Oh, No, I mean I can't, because it just seems that everything is so twisted toward and geared towards men being superior. Like women aren't allowed to talk. I mean, I've been shutting my old lady down for years, thinking that she shouldn't even have a say in the topic. I don't know. It seems twisted, you know. It seems twisted.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the Bible is reflective of its times, which is women were treated like property. Even when it talks about, people will talk about biblical marriage, it's property exchanges between men, and uh, there is not such thing as like abusing a woman. You're basically damaging another man's property, and that's what you have to pay penance for, if you even have to do that much. So it's also just actively harmful for women, like you're pointing out. There's also verses in the New Testament that are constantly used to keep women in abusive marriages, that tells them they're supposed to submit to their husband even if he's not following God's will, implying that even if they're not being good husbands, you should have to submit and stay. And so I find that to be extremely harmful for women.
Yeah, there's almost like a passive superiority that it starts with. Obviously, there are things in there that are very stark, but it just starts with almost this like, hey, you know, women, we're not much concerned about women in this book the same way we are concerned with men, but because we're categorizing them with donkeys, we're categorizing them with, and so we're not even thinking about, it's not even occurring to us that we should worry about that. But it turns out the majority of people who want power and want to be able to use this religion to their benefit, they also want to bone. If men wanted to bone donkeys as much as they wanted to bone women, there would be more rules about donkeys in the Bible too, because it would be about controlling. So it almost starts with this passive superiority of like, it's not even occurring to us that a woman is more than a donkey is, except for that they, I guess, can understand us. But that's why you even see in the commandments are clearly these 10 commandments that are supposed to be the most, like, the best things anyone ever came up with is how Christians act, even though they are the ones that are reasonable, are very basic. Every civilization that's ever had written language has figured out these things. The ones that are, there's like 3 that are just God is super jealous and demands you worship him. And then there's the only one that has any depth is the one about false witness. That one's a little bit deep. So 1 out of 10, they scored okay. But even that one, it has the thing about not coveting, which is crazy for so many Christians in America to pretend they care about what the Bible says, because coveting is literally the foundation of capitalism. So yeah. different side to everything. But the coveting language literally talks about coveting, and then it lists the things not to covet. And wife is listed amongst the other properties. So Aaron, first things first, if you are telling us that you've been shutting down your wife for years and you're trying to deconstruct from it, know that you can't do that alone. And if you try to do it alone, your marriage is going to fail and it's going to end at some point. You need to go to couples therapy and be very stark about it. You need to say, I've been doing this. And you also need to be open to the idea and the outcome of, if we find out that this is such a pattern, that it's basically something I am unable to stop with this person, even with work and trying, you also need to be open to the idea that it will be better, if you truly love this person, that it will be better for them or better for you, that the day may come where you have to go, like, we aren't the best for each other. Because unfortunately, I've been where you are. Coming out of abusive framing usually means you, and sometimes your partner too, are abusive. And just like when you are done doing cocaine, if you keep re-exposing yourself to the same people and places that you used to do cocaine at, you're going to do cocaine again. So there's a lot of information dumped on you in response to what you're asking for. But you are correct that you need to deconstruct if you've been being a piece of shit to your wife for years on the basis that you're superior to her.
Yeah, I mean, that is a hard truth to face, but I hear you, you know.
Yep.
These are definitely hard realities to realize as a person, but I think it is absolutely fair. I don't know, it's crazy because I grew up in the church, you know. I literally was basically born, raised in the church. And so I couldn't see anything else besides that, all I could see was the imagery they blast in front of you, angels and demons. There's no such thing as sickness and all this. It's just demonic and like, holy moly. And I was a bright kid, you know, they sent me to school and I learned. But I just was so confused by everything that I just didn't care, I guess, what I learned, and I kind of just stopped thinking it was reality or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So now it's getting to a point where I'm trying to get back to reality, and it's been
have
hard.
you heard of Have you heard of recoveringfromreligion.org?
I've heard y'all mention it a few times.
So this is your sign.
That
those don't exist, but anyway, this is your sign. This is me telling you you should go there, recoveringfromreligion.org. You can check out the support groups for the specific things that you are struggling with. But what's especially good is they work with the Secular Therapy Project, and they can match you with a therapist in your area or remotely that can handle it. I am telling you right now, and there are going to be people who think that I am assuming too much. And Aaron, you might even think I am assuming too much. But based on the framing that you are telling me, you have two choices. Well, I guess three. You have three choices. You can either lose your marriage or go to therapy, would be the two that I would give you, counseling therapy. The third choice is you can prove you don't actually love her, you love what she can do for you, and abuse her so sufficiently that she becomes scared to ever leave you. And that's technically a choice you have. If you do that, Aaron, you're a piece of shit, and there will be nothing that I would condemn happening to you. So those are kind of your three choices. This is the same thing that I've had to deal with people in drug recovery, and again, from my own past, can express to you. When it comes to cycles of abuse, it is not something that you can well wish your way out of. It's not a thing you can sit there and go like, I want to be different, so it will be different. You will not be able to do it alone. So you will either commit your wife to continued abuse, or even just longer abuse that takes way too long, or she will eventually, through this exposure to, oh, this isn't the way the world has to be, she will eventually leave you. And those are basically your three practical choices. Continue abusing her, go to therapy, lose her. Those are your three. And in a lot of the ways, continue abusing her and lose her have a lot of overlap. So I'm trying to be very stark with you as a person who has recovered from drug addiction and done the work to go from being a person in a very abusively framed relationships from the onset to hopefully a good partner. I think Luthien would say I'm pretty good as a partner, but you know, I won't put words in her mouth. Aaron, any other challenges or questions or worries or something you have that you'd like to bring to us? Otherwise, we have a conservative waiting for us.
Well, I just wanted to say one thing. Pretty much this whole process started after massive depression, and then I ended up taking some things that opened my third eye, if you will, metaphorically, not really. But it helped me to see what was going on, see what I was doing, see the flaws in my brain processes or something. And and so I started watching y'all. I started watching Professor Dave. Professor Dave's done miracles for my deconstruction process because I was believing all those things, the anti-vax BS, all the everything. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The creationism stuff. I mean, insane amounts of deconstruction in the last 6 months. Yes.
I want to reemphasize, and I'm talking a lot, and obviously Promise should be brought into this too, but I want to reemphasize talking to you man to man. You can totally align yourself with the correct side and still be an abusive piece of shit. There is this part of us, you and I, Aaron, grew up as misogynists, as patriarchal sacks of shit. And we do not deconstruct from that just because we stop following the religion. Unless you expressly put in effort into not being that person, you will find yourself going, okay, I accept God doesn't exist. I accept the anti-vax people are crazy. I accept And yet I am still finding myself when I am engaging with a woman, either talking down to her or thinking about her in ways of like, yeah, I'm excited to be a useful companion to you, in as much as I can convince myself you may one day be sexually beneficial to me. You do not deconstruct from that stuff. You do not deconstruct from, by the way, this is true of white supremacy. This is true of class supremacy, of a lot of things, where it's literally like, unless you put concentrated effort into it, merely aligning yourself correctly as now I am an atheist or now I am a socialist will not do the trick. And if you don't, there will be issues. So I want to reemphasize, it's not just enough to learn you were wrong. You have to put hard work into being more than just right, but a right kind of person. Because how we behave and how we feel innately, you will see a lot of atheist men leave their religion, but don't leave their religion's patriarchy. Don't leave their religion's their need to be contrarian to stuff they don't like. And that's why, unfortunately, there's also a high concentration of very transphobic atheist men, because at the end of the day, a lot of atheist men still maintain that patriarchal insecurity and fear that they will one day accidentally find themselves attracted to somebody with a penis. So, Aaron, that's just my.
I hear you, Jimmy, and I appreciate it. It's been great advice. I completely agree. I think that's why I called in, because like I want to start making steps to change this craziness. And it was hard to just even get on the phone, just to even talk about anything. But I 100% agree. So
yeah, let's bring Promise in. Promise, I'm really working on my patriarchy and misogyny, and I now grant you
No, it's okay.
to join the conversation.
Aaron, I think it's really cool that you have been able to change your mind about so many things so quickly, and I think that is an encouraging sign. Everything Jimmy said is 100% true, and I hope you take his advice, and it sounds like you're really listening. But that is a great sign that you are in a place where you're reevaluating things and changing your mind and hopefully changing behaviors. And I think you should stick with that momentum while you've got it and keep moving forward. I think the only thing I would add is hopefully you've already done this or already know that you're going to do this, but have a conversation with your partner about what she even wants to, like, does she want to, work towards something better? Does she want some space for a bit while you guys are both figuring out how your minds are changing about stuff? Sometimes it's good to take a breather and step back so you like kind of get a moment as a woman, just as a human, I think, of who you are outside of the relationship, so you can recalibrate what your values are and how you want to be treated. So that's another thing to think about and navigate together and separately.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for that.
Well, guys, I really admire
Thanks,
you for
Jimmy. Thanks
for calling about this, Aaron. I think this kind of call helps a lot of people that are listening as well. So thanks for being brave like that.
I so hope it does, because I know it's not just me. So,
Aaron, I want to apologize now. We may put a very flashy title on the clip version of this, so it might say something like, "How do I stop being abusive to my wife?" or something like that. It just so you know, we might. Man. Thank you. All right, thank you, Aaron.
Everyone be nice to Aaron in the comments. Yes. Okay, bye, Aaron.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hit RFR up. We'll see ya.
That was cool.
It was pleasant. Let's fix that.
Now let's talk to Greg.
Greg in Ohio. We're kidding, Greg. I'm sure this is going to be super pleasant. Greg in Ohio, a conservative, calling to talk about women's rights. Greg, how are you?
Also, I just want to say that in the notes, real quick, Greg, because maybe Jimmy was joking. I'm not joking. In the notes, it says here that you think a lot of women's rights need to be scaled back. So a lot of humans' rights need to be scaled back. I'd love to hear which rights and why.
Well, the main topic of your subject here is about Christianity being bad for women, right? So I think it's just the opposite. I think that Christianity makes men simp for women, makes the country weak, and then they get overrun by terrorists or invaders. I mean, for example, let's do a historical example.
Greg,
Okay, the
Greg,
Roman
Greg,
Empire.
hang on, Greg, hang on. You're now changing the topic you're calling in on. We can do that topic. I'd like to start with the topic you called in on. You told our screener a lot of women's rights need to be scaled back, like voting, running, and
Right, and I asked you a question. I said, which rights do you think should be scaled back and why?
The screener specifically asked me those questions. I didn't volunteer that information.
No, the screener asked what you were calling in for. I know what the screener asks because I give them the questions to ask you.
Right. Well,
so, Greg, let me put it simple. Greg, do you believe women should have less rights than men?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. I think that's a common sense position.
Which is a current right. Which is a current thousands of Greg, you're right. That was the position for thousands of years, and then we stopped doing that.
I know.
Did you know that? Hang on, Greg. Greg, let me ask you. Greg, let me ask you. Has scientific research and advancement for society happened more during the era where women were kept out of mainstream society or in mainstream society?
Oh, hell no. It's done so much better for thousands of years.
Greg, I'm sorry, Greg, do you believe things were better thousands of years ago when you would die because you didn't know how to clean your hands after pooping?
Well,
advanced society. I'd really like every level. But I would like an answer to my first question. I want to know which rights specifically you think women shouldn't have and why. You should be able to defend your point, Greg. Greg, this is a simple question. Okay, so you think that women shouldn't be able to vote. Okay, why not?
No, we'll run in politics. Well, okay.
Let's start with voting. Why do you think? Let's start with voting.
Because it makes men weak, and then you get overrun. Because when you add Christianity to it, especially, the women start getting the rights, which is what leads to women's rights. And then you get the women's rights, and then they vote for the people who will ultimately destroy you.
Greg, is your position that Christianity grants women rights?
Oh my God, yeah, that's the problem.
Could you go ahead and point me to where in the Bible,
Can
you go ahead and point me to the verses can you go ahead and point me to the verses in the Bible that supports a woman's right to vote?
Well, regardless of whether, the people properly applied the Bible, the people who said they believed the Bible granted the women the rights, regardless of whether or not they could prove it legitimately from the Bible.
Greg, you literally set your foundation as the better times for this world were thousands of years ago, when the Bible was being used to justify giving women none of those rights.
Yeah, well, what year do you want to say that instantly changed and everything just suddenly got better because of women?
It never instantly changed. The world has improved the more we have embraced Enlightenment principles and humanist principles. That is, you can make a literal objective case. If we're talking about the improvement being the advancement of technology, the lengthening of life, the reduction of death by disease, the fact that most of the eras you are describing, most of the populations didn't make it to adulthood, and a huge percentage of the population died from infant infections in their teeth. Like, legitimately, the world is getting better the more we accept Enlightenment and humanist principles. And one of those has been inclusion of women in society, in workforces, in science, in research. And so you're sitting here talking to us through a technology that will have been developed in part by women in still patriarchal and male-dominated fields. But by women, women will have participated, and the more we have embraced those principles, the better the world has gotten. Greg, you won't be able to point to a time in the past where you say clearly society was better then, where you, I, or Promise would have been statistically likely to be alive. Because most of these eras are times where you were more likely to die.
Greg, I have a question. Back to your point that women shouldn't be able to vote, and you're talking about how it makes men weaker. Do you think that in general, men are stronger than women? Like mentally, physically, all of that. Do you think men are stronger than women?
Yeah, generally speaking, yeah.
Okay, so then why would giving women equal rights somehow weaken men? That means men are more weak than women. If we just get equal rights with you and suddenly you become weak, that's really sad.
Okay, well, here's how. Okay, and then this goes back to the
Greg, what you're saying when you
Yeah,
want to make women have less rights because you
Is it a
think
question?
if you interrupt me, I'll mute you, Greg. We're human beings. Let's have a civil conversation. You don't need to speak over me.
She's got
So,
the power.
what, yeah, I can mute you. So what you're suggesting is that in order for men to maintain their strength, they need to weaken women. And meanwhile, women should just be okay having men over them. That makes women the stronger ones. If we can just, by being equal with you, suddenly make you weak, it means that we're better than you. And I don't actually think that's true, but you're the one admitting to that with this idea.
No,
You're
it's
saying that
just
men
women
are
are trying
so
to
you're
sit
saying
there
that men are
and
so weak. You're saying that men are so weak that they need women to be less than them in order for there to be some equality.
Right. Let's say you give a retarded person full rights exactly the same as you. Are they probably going to weaken what?
Goodbye. I don't know. Did you think you were going to be the caller that gets to just call in and throw a slur out casually? And it wasn't a word you needed to use because the word you are using doesn't have a clear definition. You could have used a word with somebody mentally impaired.
He just wanted to call women a slur that had to do with their intelligence because he can't argue because his point was stupid and I called him out for it and that was the best response he had for it. So good job, Greg.
He used a slur and made the dumbest argument. By the way, super, super dumb argument. Women are academically more impressive than men. They are the ones overwhelmingly. They are graduating from college a lot more than men are. And
but that's because we're allowed to vote. So it weakens the brain cells of men, apparently. Every time a woman votes, a man loses his brain cells, right, according to Greg.
No shit. And by the way, there are people who would fall under your category of R slur who we still allow to vote. Guess what? You're talking to one of them. I'm autistic. That's one of the people we used to use that word for. And not only do I get to vote, I vote to specifically cancel Greg's vote out, to specifically harm Greg's ability to make progress. He's who I am targeting. If
somebody can make Greg's argument without slurs, then you're welcome to call. We have 1 hour left, and then the show is over. So this is your time to call in.
To ask right-wing conservative MAGA people to make arguments without
to make a real argument,
to make arguments without resorting to slurs, to make arguments without melting down, to make arguments without resorting to. You know what I am happy about though? I never thought I would appreciate Candace Owens for everything, but I think Andrew Wilson is over now, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he pretty much done?
She kind of cooked him.
Yeah.
And she didn't have to do hardly anything. He cannot handle talking to women. He has to pick like young teenage girls that he just rage baits the entire time. And to Candace's credit, she's been... It was dumb. He was so unprepared.
Right.
It was really bad.
Sitting there first, he always does this like I'm winning superior smile thing that I hate. The smile he has legitimately like it's why people keep trying to we had those two people on. They were like, will you debate Andrew Wilson? And I think there are two reasons why I won't. One, how bad faith the thing he did specifically to Matt was. If he apologized for that, acknowledged it, I would consider it. Two, I think I would have to say going in, guys, in advance, I'm not going to say I'm going to lose on the merit of any of the points. I'm not capable of respecting this man, and I will resort to, I know what my weaknesses are. I know what my problems are. And at some point I'm going to do an impression of him back to him. I know it's going to happen. It's like if I debated Donald Trump, I'd literally be sitting up there and I'd be quoting him on the Howard Stern show in his voice. I'd be like, hey, Donald, remember when you were like, and then I get to go backstage and we get to have the women, they're not wearing any clothes. I go backstage and I get to say, I've got a daughter. I've seen these kinds of things before. So, I kind of get away with things like that. I'd be quoting him in an impression of him back to him. And I know that I wouldn't be able to do a debate with Andrew Wilson without ever bringing up his horrible fucking face. his face, and he can't control it. That's just genetics, right? Jesus wouldn't have done that to him. That's why we know Jesus didn't exist.
Oh
If
my
Jesus
gosh.
existed, Andrew, he wouldn't have given you that face. And I would want to make that argument. I would want to go, you are sitting here as a representative of Christ, Mr. Wilson, and yet you think Christ so badly wants people to know him that he would send you as his representative with that face? With that face, where when you say the words, you lick sniz, it has that tone of voice. Jesus would send you as his stripling warrior. Onward, Christian soldier, looking like that. If you were in a battlefield, like in an actual war, and they were like, hey guys, look, I know we could more easily get through by doing that. Do you see that guy up there who somehow has a position of leadership? Let's target him just because I don't like his fucking face. I know we're here to defend our country or whatever, but that guy's fucking face up there. That guy, I wouldn't be able, like, I know my weaknesses, and I know people would be able to point to and look and go, legitimately, I don't think I could good faith back to him. I don't think he deserves good faith because he has been so bad faith in every fucking debate he's ever done. Legitimate, he's done a few debates where I'm on his side. To be honest, I don't watch the full debates, but so I don't know that that's a fact. Maybe there's a good faith debate out there that I missed, but I know I saw a couple of highlights from him and Dinesh D'Souza. And I'm like, I'm probably more on Andrew Wilson's than Dinesh's side of the whole, like, let's just support Israel and whatever they want to do. And yet even there, but him sitting there with fucking Candace Owens and Candace being like, oh yeah, this is so important to you. Name one of the 7 charges. And then he does this. Well, okay, you're pointing out I can't name one. Therefore, you're as bad as me. If you can't name all 7 in sequence fast right now and not so, and he keeps trying to talk. I mean, she keeps like, hey, this tactics isn't going to work. I'm giving you all 7. I'm going to give them to you at my pace. I'm going to say what I want to say with mine. She like, the funny thing is she's not a good debater, and he got smoked by her.
But you don't have to be a good debater to beat Andrew Wilson, because like you pointed out, he doesn't really debate. You have to be good at not falling for rage bait. I think that's what it is. I think that's what he does, is he just kind of rage baits a lot of times and tries to
he gets rage baited so easy.
Tries to, of course, and tries to control the conversation and all of that, but Candace was just kind of sitting there like she didn't have to do much. The one part that was hilarious to me is when I think I'm remembering this correctly. He said like, did you just get that question? Like she asked him a good question. Right. He's like, did someone just text that to you? And then she's like, here, the moderator can check my phone. And she's like, we can keep talking while he does that. And he's like, no, we'll sit. And he like wants to just sit there. Or maybe that might be a different part. Anyways, like, there's a different part where they're waiting on a clip or something.
Did you check Signal? Check WhatsApp? He's like sitting there.
Yeah,
like,
right.
We're going to.
But there were several moments where he clearly was just trying to buy time and had nothing. But that was the craziest part.
Too. He fights. He said that Dean or Parker was having the other one message them the good questions. And here's the funny thing about that. 1, do you have actual proof that happened? 2, if it did happen,
right?
Are you worried you wouldn't be able to? This is why I turn down these debates.
Right, it's like, cheating. You got a good question.
Right, I want to do these big scripted things, and I want to Google with you and show you what my Google says and what my algorithm is serving me, and have you challenge my algorithm where I want to sit and go, no, let's not even know all the topics that are going to come in. I'll ask you a question, you ask me a question, and then callers will set the questions, and we'll see who is ready to defend their point of view versus the other person's point of view. And we try to do that with Andrew Wilson's actual friends, Marte and I forgot the other guy's name, Jake. And Marte, literally, Jake asks a first question. And this is why I had to point out to Jake, his debate partner does not respect him. He goes, what about the rise in left-wing crime? One of those sort of dumb things. It's like, if all of the calico cats are attacking people, like the calico cats are the ones attacking people all the time. And then there's a 1% rise in like gray tabby cats attacking people. You sitting there and acting like the 1% rise is equal to the calico cats is crazy. I realize that there's somebody who's going to be like, and that this sounded like one of those racist talking points, but we're actually talking about left wing versus right wing, because people like to use those. So like, if okay, well, if 12% of giraffes, that's the kind of shit those idiots do. But anyway, you've got I don't know, I don't understand. Jimmy wears a dress in his relationship. I don't know what that. Are you calling in? Is this just like a random
Jimmy
chat,
wears
man?
a dress in his relationship.
So it's already not equal. But then when they're losing on it and Marte is asked to add a follow-up, Jake's like, yeah, Marte, help me with this thing. Like, throw it in. And he's like, yeah, left-wing violence. Like all of the millions of abortions, which means you aren't interested in Jake getting his question answered because the abortion number would have preceded whatever this rise in violence he's asking about. So he's not asking about abortion. We're not litigating abortion. You're trying to do one of the scripts, because right now you're getting challenged with actual, let's put our worldviews next to each other. But you're like, if I can say trans and abortion, trans and abortion, trans and abortion, trans and abortion, you're like Rudy Giuliani with 9/11. But with less charm somehow. It's literally just, I gotta get trans, I gotta get abortion, I gotta get trans, I gotta get abortion. Literally, we asked them what a single way minority and average citizens, I think Javon asked minority citizens' lives have improved. And he literally said minority lives have improved because now they don't have access to trans healthcare. And so their kids who might have become trans won't become trans. That was the only thing they could list as a positive from Donald Trump, which is already, if you frame it, if you accept the premise that this is a positive, which guys, we don't, then that would be a positive. It'd be like, minorities might get, I accept that being stopped and frisked and arrested for things you didn't do and your rights trampled on, I consider that a positive. So that's how minorities have benefited. It's great. It's great. Nicole in Texas has a challenge for us. Nicole in Texas, you are on the line with Jimmy and Promise. What's up?
Hi, Jimmy. It's not really a challenge. It's more just a question. I've never really heard any of you guys push back when a Christian says, well, Christians ended slavery in America. Like, I've never heard any of you guys say, that's not true or that's not what happened.
Because there's a part, it wouldn't be representing it correctly to just blanket say that's not true. A significant part of the abolitionist movements were Christians. Guess who started American slavery? And so we do always push back on this. Slavery is a Christian biblical precept. You get to do it. It is endorsed and even guided within it. There are other civilizations who did slavery with other types of guidelines, but also I don't accept that slavery ever ended. Just the specific type of chattel slavery we did back in the 1700s and before, the 400 years leading up to the abolition ended. But slavery, America still has slavery.
Promise, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know what talking points you're talking about because obviously people will bring up that different important figures like Martin Luther King Jr., they were Christian. What do you have to say about that? Blah, blah. When you have a country that's majority Christian, then oftentimes what ends up happening is on both sides, you have Christians. We have them now. I have some peers that are Christians that are fully aligned with all of my political values, human rights values, all of that. They just happen to also believe in some form of Christianity. So whether or not you have Christians on one or both or the other side of something is not always the most relevant thing to the situation. So it depends on exactly what we're addressing, but we've definitely had those conversations on the line. At least I know I have. I've heard Jimmy have that many times.
Yeah. Christianity, it would be true to say that Christianity did not end slavery, but the abolitionist movement was because most people in America back then were Christian.
You said Christianity did not end in chattel slavery, perhaps in America. You're saying saying that did not happen, correct?
Christians ended it. Christianity has a tenet of slavery, so it couldn't have been Christianity that ended it.
Well, I think
And
that's where
meanwhile,
I have the issue.
yeah, but meanwhile, you also had like the people that were owning other humans as slaves during that time were giving them Bibles that had cut out the verses to say basically you need to be a good slave. They were called slave Bibles. We can see them in museums now. So Christianity was actively being used to justify owning people.
Well, I mean, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sure. I mean, so there were philosophers that were speaking before the Haitian Revolution that were telling these slave-owning countries and states that eventually you are going to have slaves that outnumber the slave owners, and they are going to get recompense for what you're doing to them. And then the Haitian Revolution happened. I'm just saying, I don't think Christian abolitionists had anything to do with the ending of slavery. It was more so the fact that the powers that be in the North recognized that we can either lose this country 100% or we can change the way that we make our money.
I mean, that's a theory you have, Christian abolitionists. There absolutely was an Enlightenment-based movement of abolition, and the people who were embracing Enlightenment values.
Did they really move the needle, or do you think that the Haitian Revolution moved the needle?
I'm sorry, what? I didn't hear your question because I was still talking. What was your question?
My apologies. Go ahead.
I've lost mine, so go ahead and give me your question.
Sure, I'm saying, so do you think that the decades or hundreds of years of Christian abolitionists moved the needle, or do you think that the Haitian Revolution, that had absolutely nothing to do with Christianity, moved the needle for the Americans saying, we don't want to lose our entire country, so let's do something different? That's what I'm saying. I feel like the idea of giving it to the Christians is a bit much.
Again, you are focusing on the Christian element, not the Christianity.
I am. That was the whole question.
The Christians were absolutely being won over by Enlightenment values. Promise already gave you the example. Obviously, the Haitian Revolution was a very strong pro-abolition point and was used to make the case to people. But most of those people, those cases were made to, were themselves Christians. And so you still would have had people who would have had to have been in a more enlightened version of Christianity, something we'd still see. Their versions.
Then you would have to say that Abraham Lincoln was a Christian. Like, is that a fact?
Are the ends of my sentences not interesting to you?
I mean, the things that you're saying aren't really knocking on the points that I'm saying.
Give me a call back when they're interesting to you, okay? Thank you.
Okay, you have a great day.
That was like the fourth time I didn't make it to the end of my sentence, and I was close to it. And I'm just like, I don't have the patience for it today. I think the ends of my sentences are very interesting. In fact, I think they make my point. And if you respond before I get to the end of my sentence, you're likely responding to a point different than I've made, because the ends of the sentences, I would argue, might be the most important parts. And I would rather be on the phone with nobody than someone who's going to keep not letting me get to the end of my sentence.
I think maybe Nicole had some interesting perspective about part of that time in history. And I think that she's conflating us acknowledging that there happened to be people that happened to be Christians as us saying that Christians ended slavery. And that's not what we're agreeing to at all. Also, Christianity looked very different. People would call themselves Christians. I'm pretty sure Abraham Lincoln wasn't he referred to as a Christian man or whatever. Anyways, they were deists more often than not. And a lot of the abolitionists... No, a lot of the abolitionists were as well, though.
I'm talking about, as far as presidents go, Abraham Lincoln wasn't like staunch Christian, but definitely I know he was raised Baptist. And
That's what I'm
think that
saying.
he used the Bible and religious language a lot, especially in the Civil War.
Correct.
So he framed it a lot, but he wasn't, I don't know. I would say he's much more Christian than Washington was, or Washington's not as good an example as like Jefferson.
He was
Jefferson
culturally
fairly good.
Christian.
I
Which
don't
I
think
hate that
Abraham-
term so much.
I think Abraham Lincoln probably died as he was dying, thought he was about to see Jesus.
Well, I know he was
that's
very
Christian enough for me.
superstitious. His wife was like super kind of witchy, but that's not my point is that what we think of as Christians ended slavery, that's not what we're agreeing to at all. It would pretty much everybody was a Christian at the time, and you happen to have, well, you had people that happened to be Christians that were involved in the abolitionist movement. That doesn't mean that, like, just like you were saying, it doesn't mean Christianity is what helps that movement.
Right. So the one, people need to recognize the absolute concentration of Christians at that time. Two, when it comes to, I've already stated, Christianity wasn't what freed the slaves. But there were Christians who went, oh, okay, these Enlightenment values, I understand them, and they both make sense and feel right. They feel better. The guilt I would have about these sorts of things, it seems more correct. Yes, they would have then gone and used biblical framework to then try to justify them. Go, here's how I'm going to change the Bible to make it work, and then use that to appeal to other Christians. We literally see this happening right now with queer issues. We literally see progressive Christians who I like going, hey, Christians, what if you read the Bible this way instead? And these people that you're feeling guilty about hating and treating like shit, what if you do that? The Haitian Revolution is a very invigorating thing for the North. By the way, it's also something you could say that the South was informed by, because the Haitian Revolution basically goes, if you let these people talk and know enough of each other and you don't separate them more, they can rise up. And so the South has the opportunity to go, oh, well, we just need to isolate them more, give them less chance to have community, give them less chance to like learn to read, have access to any, have less people that we give any additional resources. And this is why, like, when people call in and say, yeah, Kanye was right, slavery that long is a choice, they should have risen up. What community organization power do you think they had? What awareness do you think they even had, these slaves, that there were other states and people fighting for their rights? Now, things did start to get spread out. This is things that the Underground Railroad and communication is starting to communicate out. You have in the late 1700s, you have people basically saying, in fact, let me look up, what was the year of the Haitian Revolution? Haitian Revolution year was 1791 to 1804. So late 1700s to early 1800s, you have people who now have, hey, by the way, this has succeeded somewhere. So if you're in the North and you're Black, you have an example now of Black slavery, Haitian, granted, but Black slavery ending. And I had to make the clarification because I got so much shit for calling Haiti Africa a little while ago, or including Haiti amongst Africa on a show recently. But they had examples of, hey, these things can be overturned. These revolutions can happen. That invigorates the North, who, through Enlightenment principles, amongst a lot of Christians, and who are now reading Christianity differently, that invigorates the North and gives information to try and influence through. I will remind the caller, who I unfortunately was not willing to continue with, the South still went to war over it. So this whole idea of like the North just became, I don't know, too scared to keep doing slavery, but the South didn't, or the South knew. Now it's so that oh, they're gonna outnumber us, which, by the way, outnumbering doesn't matter if you still treat them essentially like livestock and you isolate them from each other, that they never know what their numbers are. Outnumbering only matters once they start becoming connected and once they have any community organization skills. They still fought.
To your other point, also, slavery continued on. They just found another way to do it.
Right.
And to keep it everywhere, all over. So
some people who are watching now are participating in modern slavery, and there's a spectrum of it. But modern slavery right now comes in the form of capitalism causing at the what you would almost call the lower end, the most common end. Wage slavery is a thing. If you are being forced by circumstance to work as much as you can, where you can, and still not making ends meet, and still not having access to good health care, good nutrition, and then also just the ability to live life as other individuals are making more money because they have money to draw interest on and put investments on. These people who aren't working, but their money is working and they're not. That is a modern form of slavery. But then we also have literal slavery in prisons. And we even carved out in our amendments to make sure that type is okay. And then our economy runs off of people and countries whose workers are treated even more poorly than us. We still outsource so much to people whose governments and who aren't being adequately taken care of at their level. Slavery comes in a lot of forms, and you can literally point to people who are living under the poverty line with less quality of life than some slaves lived back during slavery. So simply just being able to say you can't literally own another person as property was not an adequate abolition of slavery. I do go on. Anyway, what time is it? 3:24?
AKA 11:24 my time.
Hey.
Just so everyone knows.
And then
I'm grabbing water real quick. It'll take 2
Good.
seconds.
It'll get weird again at some point in our timeline up because we'll have time now. America's time zone, or not time zone, but the hour change from daylight savings will happen at a different time than hers does. And there's a period of time where it's like, it lines up really well, where I feel like our difference is it even 6 hours somehow? Right now it's 8, but I feel like we get a couple weeks of 6 because you guys have moved forward and we haven't yet moved forward again. So you go
Maybe,
forward.
I don't remember.
And we're still backing out. I don't know, something like that.
It's all kind of, I mean, honestly, the worst part about the time difference for me is being off schedule with everybody else on the line. Like that is the number one thing that bothers me in my life. Because other than that, it's honestly so nice that I don't even worry about being near my phone unless I'm working, like making content or researching something until 3. Like that's when I'm like, that's my free time. Then from 3 on, then it is annoying again because then it's like I'm at dinner with family and I'm like, I have emails I have to respond to. But
so you could solve all
of
this
nice
by just making your sleep schedule change to where you wake up at 3. And then
my husband would really love that.
Well, he could do it too for me.
As he goes to school at 7 a.m.
Me enough. Well, he changes school schedule. It's socialist school. Like you go when you want to go, right?
To be honest, a lot of his school does seem that way. Like he's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to go tomorrow. I'll go Thursday instead. I'm like, what?
He owns the means of producing syllabus, right? Like that's syllabi. I'm just saying, it could be fine. It could be fine. 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. Couple of decent calls today. I will insist on getting to the ends of my sentences, I'm afraid, people. I actually don't enjoy using the mute button that much. In fact, it is funny how often now the comment section is complaining that I'm not muting enough. And we might have
I saw one of those and somebody complained about me using it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry that once a year I do that when somebody keeps interrupting me or just doesn't. Well, you complain about the end of your sentences. I'm just like, when do I get to start one with some of these guys? Like as soon as I start talking, they're done. I think it was with Seth recently where the guys were just not letting me talk. It was great.
I'm going to go ahead and read some mean comments. This one because I want to now be pedantic. Jimmy is such a pedantic ass. He almost makes me want to disagree with my own beliefs. He'll ask a question and literally open his mouth to respond before anyone else speaks. Is that what you think pedantic means? Answering your own questions?
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't. I mean, they're the same paragraph, so they seem connected, but do you know what pedantic means? Because I think you might not know it. Let's see. Oh, here's about slavery. I'm sure we should get over slavery and keep busy with it. There's more important issues. The people doing it don't even exist anymore. Not true. Those slavery masters are long dead. So to be fair, maybe people like Jimmy are keeping it alive and thus giving a chance for slavery revival. Nobody talks about Hitler where I'm from, and nobody why tries to be Hitler 2.0 or slavery of whatever racism is barely a thing here. Clearly not an English first language person. That's fine. Slavery hasn't ended, and people have not stopped benefiting from the early slavery, the slavery you're referring to, and the ongoing white supremacy that has stemmed from it. If your family was rich during slavery times, your family is likely rich today. Plus, Jimmy needs to learn that he isn't Hitler. That guy died. If someone likes to answer with yes or no, it's his choice also when he doesn't. Jimmy is just the next Hitler Stalin.
What in the world? Also, the idea that that wherever this person is from, which I'm assuming is someplace in Europe, is trying to say that you don't talk about Hitler. It's literally in your education. Like, you guys absolutely do talk about Hitler, and receive education so that history does not repeat itself. We have not erased that. What's happened over here in the US is they are literally actively trying to remove that part of history from our history books, from schools. And so it's important to actually keep talking about it. Even the parts that don't exist to this day.
American philosopher named, it's not Santana, but it's almost like that, is the guy who said something. It was along the lines of those who don't
philosopher
learn history
Santana.
will repeat it. Santana said, those who do not learn history tend to repeat it. I can find it. It won't take that long. Santana, philosopher, those who do not learn history. Santa Iana, George Santayana. That's hard to say. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. The people who literally don't want you to learn that we did slavery, but not like, it's not like we did slavery 1,000 years ago. Nobody's suggesting that your family today should feel any responsibility over the slavery that was done in the Bible, except for when you use the Bible to justify principles. But the literal slavery, there's enough disconnection. You, if you are white in America, are still benefiting from the institution of American chattel slavery. Like, that's the problem. You dig? Let's see. I don't understand this comment. Let's go to race. Javon says one thing. Okay, let's forget race and go to financial class. Jimmy says one thing. Okay, let's forget about rich people. I wish we could forget about rich people. I wish.
How are you finding mean comments? Do you have like an app for that now?
No. I just filtered the comments with the name Jimmy, and they're usually mean. You want to throw promise in there?
No, don't.
They're probably not mean. By the way, this,
I don't want to know.
Particularly good content. It's probably all just being like, God, would Jimmy let Promise talk, please? Probably all that.
Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here doing my little craft.
Jimmy ruins many calls by making them personal and is quick to devolve into childish chatter and baseless accusations about the person.
Childish chatter.
Stop with the petty bullshit. I almost guarantee. I agree. I resort to childish chatter. Never first. Never undeserving. Once the call has lost its opportunity, because this is this says this was about a person calling in saying men are superior. I guarantee you this was at some point he's given some dumb fucking example. In fact, I think I remember the call of it being about being physically stronger makes us superior. It was just funny. We're getting more and more of these terrible takes from Jimmy and Javon. I've been enjoying all of the, what I like doing is giving people my current takes and then watching the year delay, and the same people who are complaining are adopting those same takes. This is legitimately how I feel about all the fights I keep having with my own chat about AI and the fact that they are misdirecting their issues with it, and they should not be directing their problems with AI at small independent people trying to make their businesses work. that it should be like climate change directed at rich people. And in fact, they are engaging in the opposite of class solidarity when they say things like, if you use AI, I'm an AI, never AI person, always expressing this on platforms that are actively training AI, by the way. So you're not never AI because you're using it right this second. Anyway, it's literally like, now I've got a longer rant I go on about what class solidarity actually looks like. And I'm positive a year from now, people will be looking back and being like, they'll pretend they were never on that side, but they'll be like, actually, class solidarity looks like giving people the tools to buy back their time, to get back their time when they are a small business, when they are struggling with all that stuff. And
it's kind of like how people are, kind of like how people are finally starting to complain about, like, admit that paper straws suck.
True. They are bad. I don't know if we'd ever say paper straws suck for us. Did they save any turtle lives?
There's no way, because there's still so much being disposed of in the ocean. Like, I feel like that was
just one turtle.
Somebody significantly more educated and more intelligent than us has researched this, and I'm going to go read about it, because that is a great question. Did we actually save any turtles? We better have.
Let's see. Okay, I'm on the list of this vegan's very disappointed. They added Jovan to the list of people they're disappointed to basically say, shut up about veganism. I'm pretty sure Jimmy intentionally has idiots from the other side so he can dominate them in debates. He should grow a pair and have a legit conservative on. Okay, Johnny, connect me. Who's the legit conservative? Let's get them on. I've been putting out invites broadly, and there was this person who's like girl dad official on Threads. You've probably seen his nonsense. He says he'll debate any leftist. I accept it, and he is not responding. He seems to be avoiding debating leftists. In fact, it would seem. Let's see. Another person talking about how this comment happens a lot. I really hated Jimmy at first, but he's really grown on me. I feel like I don't want to fault people for that, but I get it. But that is such a common experience amongst autistic people that at a certain point, society needs to have a discussion about, if we keep having this, if this is like so common amongst autistic people, maybe they should stop working as hard on masking, and maybe society should work a little bit more on incorporating them.
Do you know what we should do one episode when we're feeling like we hate ourselves? We should go watch the very first episode we ever did together when you had me on the line the first time.
That'd be fun.
I haven't watched it, so.
Well, why would you?
Babies.
That could be
Great question. I don't know. Some people watch all of their stuff. I don't know.
Back
I
then,
actively
had you called
avoid
Eve
it.
was framed, right?
Correct, and you would have called me Eve.
Yeah, the whole time, and been really.
In fact, you didn't know. I didn't even tell you what my name was yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that? I was like, don't tell me your real name, because I want to.
I will call you that live. Yeah.
I don't want to ever have to worry about keeping track of it.
Was it you that did accidentally say my name live one time, and you turned it into a sentence?
Yeah, that was my trick. Not literally hundreds, but once I learned, there'd literally be. So I would just, and I'm like, and listen, promise me that you will. At least yours is just a word, so it's easy to figure out.
That's true. And one that can just be thrown into a sentence too. So unlike Forrest, if Forrest had done that, it would have been a little more difficult to just casually say Forrest,
Yeah. All right, let's find out. We're doing it. I'm sorry. These are ones with promise. Luthien, why is Nicole trying to talk again?
She basically just wants to say she liked the conversation and wanted to talk again more.
But the note she gave was, I appreciate everything Promise had to say, and I want to talk more about it, and will allow sentences to be finished. So directly in her screening, the person who kept not letting me finish a sentence and basically ended by saying I wasn't interesting enough for her to let finish the sentences, wanted to emphasize that she appreciated Promise's side of the conversation.
I think
Yes.
no, if I had to guess though, I think she's addressing what I said after she hung up when I was like, I think that all of the things were helpful at the time or whatever it was that I said. If I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, I don't, because I barely said anything during the conversation that she was on the phone, so I would think that it's after. It still sucks.
No, yeah,
But
I'm
I
done.
do. I don't think
probably
I
need to be
contributed
like,
anything in the first conversation.
by the way, even if it was about the after the call, I literally went into that actual influence of the Haitian Revolution. And she's still kind of like, and so I understand. So even if it's about after the call, to still isolate. Nicole, I'd rather keep reading comments than just take a call because there's a call. Try a different day. 336-543-2101 if you have something to debate about and you haven't already called today. Let's see. This man sounds like his brain is fried. He seems barely coherent. Edit. Jimmy, please let Promise get a word in. Oh my God. So even the first negative comment with the name Promise in it is attacking me. Referring to Promise as the woman immediately ruined any amount of respect I had for this guy. Then he somehow got more disgusting with the alpha bulls. Okay, that's about the caller. That person is, I think, hitting on you. This is how I learned Promise is one of us, queer woman. Well, remember that time Jovan said bisexuals and straight relationships aren't queer? He didn't say that. He
I was like, did he actually say that?
He did the like, but are you really queer? It basically did the passive biphobia that people, but I made a big deal of it because I'm like, oh, finally, I keep doing accidental racisms and you just did an accidental biphobia. And now I am going to just fucking skip to work. It was a wonderful day. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. Communists live in a dream world. Oh, I'm not reading all that. It's too fucking long. But the word promise is in it. Probably not about you, though.
Like, not about me.
Let's see. A lot of people coming to your defense that they refer to you as the woman.
Oh, yeah. This guy called and was talking to Jovan. And then it was like, and then the woman, Jovan, is like, do you mean Promise? And then he still went on and just kept calling me Miss. Would not acknowledge my humanity. So that was a fun call.
Someone asking how you got a few Finnish people being like, oh, love from Finland. We love you. In Finland, Promise debates you.
You got to work on your Finnish accent. You're so good at all the other impressions. So I need you to actually do a good job at this one. And I will laugh when you get it right. It'll be great. I need you to watch Rally English. I need you to watch Rally English, like the Finnish way, this Rally accent that they do, and it is hilarious, and I need you to do that. The Finns that are watching, they know what I'm talking about.
Okay, I think that's tongue-in-cheek. Yeah, you just do not get mean comments nearly as often.
I'm also not on the show nearly as often, so that helps.
A lot of people are mad I have the audacity to keep showing up on the channel with my name on it. They're like really mad. They're like, oh, why is Jimmy on this one? Check the door, idiot. Literally.
That's weird.
Like, do you know where you are? Do you smell burnt toast?
Is it true that you don't like compliments or like people saying nice things though?
I don't, especially when we do super chats, reading the whole, like, I've always had a rule against people calling in to thank us and stuff. And then people being too, I'm very uncomfortable with it. That's where the go fuck.
Me too, but
from. But I like,
I feel like that's taken too far.
You know?
It hurts my feelings on your behalf every time I see the go fuck yourself, Jimmy thing.
Oh,
I'm just like I know, but I don't. Like when I first started working on the line, I was like, I remember learning about this in a super chat and I was just like, what? We're just going to be mean to Jimmy? I was not happy about it.
Here's a person who was trying to defend the woman thing, but they got their wording wrong. But no, Promise is not a woman. Her voice does not matter. It's a good thing this guy is around to tell her what she wants. First of all, you meant the woman, and you meant to put it in quotes. Just saying. I could build an app that could literally go find just the mean ones.
I gave you an idea now.
It'll be fine. I have so much software development to do right now that
you should make it set to where you can search like mean comments, nice comments, and then constructive criticism and whatever.
Okay,
and then Natalie.
That's the girl who follows Donald Trump around and prints off all of his compliments. So gross.
Oh, God.
She's called the human printer, and she's in love with him. Have you not heard of this woman? She leaves
Is this
him like
the one
love
that
notes,
stuff is going around
basically.
like the love notes and shit?
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
Melania
Yeah.
suddenly showed up for the first time in months the other day?
I think Melania knows they're banging. Like, I'll say it, I think they're banging.
No, I know.
It's
I
clear.
know. That's what I'm saying.
they're banging.
Melania hasn't been around, and now all of a sudden this came out. And then like the next day,
I don't think she
Melania's all of a sudden, what?
I don't think she cares. I think it's probably a coincidence. I think she probably
I don't think
knows.
she cares. I think
Yeah.
part of her contract is that they were like, we need you to come out so that it looks good for a minute.
I bet it was just a coincidence. I don't think they were caring that much. I mean, they were melting
probably
down
was,
the
but-
accusations, but literally they're going to be like, when it comes out, all of our side will defend him. Like all of our side will go, well, yeah, he's 80 years old with a pretty 30-year-old. Like, what do you expect? We knew what he was. We put him in it. I don't think they're that worried about it. I don't think she'd be compelled to be like, I think they'd call her and she'd be like, I do not care. Do you? Like her old shirt said, her old jacket. Remember? I don't really care. Do you? Remember the jacket?
Oh, yeah.
It was a big problem. Big problem. Not as big as an issue as a yellow suit, though. Don't wear a tan suit, guys.
It was tan, not yellow.
That's what I just changed it. Did you just correct after I corrected myself?
The sentence was loading, and then I didn't want to interrupt, but then I still let the sentence out after you already followed up with your second point.
There's a person who watches our show who is obsessed with the idea that we all say tenant when we're saying tenant. And earlier in case he was watching, I extra hard said tenant when I was describing it earlier to make sure it is clear. Tenant and tenant sound exactly alike. Tenant, 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 tenant. They sound very, very alike. So I made it very clear I was saying tenant. And I'm not joking. Within 30 seconds of me saying tenant, he wrote TENET in the fucking live chat. And I almost stopped the show to be like, this is you, guy. This is your problem. He literally, let me look. I'm going to see how many. It could be multiple people. I'm just going to write in the word tenant now and see. There's like multiple things about, I need you to learn that it is tenant, not tenant. Sorry. Had to get that off my chest in a show with you and I in the past. Let's see. I know there's more. Tenant, not tenant. Jesus. Like legitimately, it's you. You are hearing tenant because they are very similar words. And because you at some point were corrected on this and you were embarrassed that you got corrected on it. So now you do it with everybody. It was tenant. Okay. You're saying you're new to it. I wrote tenant today, but I've not done it before. Polite correction. No, it wasn't a polite correction because it wasn't a correction because I said tenant. People who are obsessed with tenant and tenant, you're the problem because you don't even know when you are the new I hate you more than we can always tell people because you think you can always tell when a person says tenant and tenant versus tenant and you can't. I'm just saying. We can always tell when you say tenant. You don't even know which one I just said that time.
What a great show.
I'll give you 2 minutes. You've got, if the clock hits 3:50, guys, throw in some super chats if you wouldn't mind. We got to pay for the show. And we'll call it a day. We'll give 3 minutes for one
Calling
more
it-
debate caller to call.
Calling it a day.
We might call
It's
it
the new show.
now. Welcome, sinners. You want to make it calling it a day? That changes them from sins to C ads. Terrible.
What?
How do you not get it? Calling it now. CIN. So our fans are sinners, but with a C.
Oh,
But calling it a day is
okay.
CIAD. You guys are cicadas now. That doesn't actually work. Cialis. Cialis. How do we make the abbreviation calling in always loving it softly is the name of the new show, and it is Cialis for short.
That's so bad.
Cialis. I think that's how you spell the other one. Oh, goodness sakes. I'm just going to call them titties from now on. Tenets are titties. It is a titty of Christianity that women are property.
Please do.
Listen, I say this with my whole chest about the titties. Joshua says,
I'm going to turn it.
Go ahead.
This is like gonna not work. I'm going to start calling them nipples of Christianity and saying that atheism doesn't have any nipples.
There ain't no
Just to take it even further.
Christianity. Well, there are lots of tenets in Christianity.
No, Christianity has a lot of nipples. Atheism doesn't. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, I challenged a person on Threads who, it is so wild. This guy said something dumb. So I was like, I'll debate you.
You on Threads is so funny.
Savage. And then he started debating me in DMs. The problem was I never debated back. And then he went
and then he tried to say he won in a debate with you or something.
we went to public Threads and was like, and Jimmy's trying to say blah, 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 a bunch of stuff he was saying was my position. And he was saying in DMs. And I'm literally like, I didn't give you any of these. Like, you're just fucking lying. You are lying. And then he's like, what is the epistemology that you're using to declare that I am lying and the ontology of, and literally like it is the thing is, guys, do you notice that no one debate bros? Do you notice no one philosophy bros whether evolution is true? Do you notice that only in this God thing are people saying the basis of that it is true are these Phil bro word problems? The stove is hot because we can recognize it's hot. And that hot is even a relative experience, but we can recognize it's hot through experimentation. We can actually prove it. We don't need a special word game, and I don't need a script, and you need a script. And then the winner of the debate is who anticipated the most trap cards and had a counter ready to go. That's why fucking Phil bro debates are nonsense. Because none of it is why people believe. Nobody became a Christian because they heard the Kalam cosmological argument. Not one of them did. These are always post hoc rationalization. These are always the things they rationalize with it later or try to go, and therefore it's intellectually superior. Nobody is actually compelled by those. And you know this because when you actually go to their churches and you sit and you listen to them talk to each other about their proof of God, it is the most mundane, stupid shit. It is, I prayed to find a sale on a belt and I found a sale on a belt. I prayed to find my keys and I found my keys. It's always the like dumbest shit. And I know because I used to also profess the dumbest shit, the dumbest evidence. My evidence for the working of prayer, as I've told the story many times, was that it used to relieve my stomach pain when I had diarrhea. Except it turns out it didn't. It turns out that when I would get to the peak, to the point that I would feel like crying to God and say, I can't handle anymore, it turns out that the pain goes away whether or not I pray, that peak amount of pain is a sign it's almost over. Aliana Shayoverbo says, why is it that if you donate a kidney, people love you, but if you donate 5 kidneys, they call the police? What are you going to say, Promise?
That's good. That was just funny what you're saying. I know it's not, but it was. Wait, we have a bunch of super chats to read, don't we?
Diarrhea is always funny. Are more coming in? Which one did I have up just now?
But there's
them?
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That might be our vertical crew. Yeah, our vertical crew. You guys are the real ones here. Joshua Everett said my weekly promises on the show tax. Liberty Giblet said, go yourself, Jimmy. High promise. Green Man Dave says, all the Daves had a great time at NanoCon. It could have only been better if Promise had been there. No shade. Well, there's a little shade.
That was shade.
And you can't say shade. It's like spitting on someone's face and going, no spit.
Also, technically, I was there. I did speak at NanoCon, just through a computer. Also, can I just say that giving a talk through a Zoom where you can't see or hear the audience at all is one of the weirdest things ever.
Soul crushing.
Like, there's no interaction with them
pretty much most of my career before call-in shows.
That's like, I could not do this by myself.
Yeah.
That is a skill that you have. I could not sit here live
Would you
and
call
just talk.
With the overwhelming hatred that comes from my own audience, would you call it a skill?
Yes, I would call it a skill.
I love whenever people are like, and you're just sending your people because you have a bunch of audience that are a bunch of sycophants, and you're like, you have not checked my comment section. My audience are sycophants? Mine? I don't have... my biggest criticism these days of Hassan is his audience. I'm having to watch Hassan more because of all the shit he's becoming so politically relevant. And the more I'm watching him, I'm like, oh shit, I might have to amend this. I think I might be a fan. The guy's good. Anyway, he's an excellent communicator, and I'm most impressed by I'm always impressed by people who have a deep encyclopedia of historical relevant information to share. And he does. He's got a great mind for it. Anyway, why did I bring that up? Oh, Hassan's the Hassan community on Reddit was enough to keep me away from shows, because it was like, fucking, these guys are crazy. A lot of them are. I don't have one of those kinds of communities. I don't have a community of people who are just, arguably some people who are here do, and I shit on them all the time. Jovan's core audience, I hate them, and I shit on them all the time. Jovan has
we have a super chat from one of them.
Well, not all of them. There are some overlap who I like, but Jovan, oh yeah. Well, I probably hate them. No, woke non-binary frat boy. I probably like you enough. But wrote Jovan.
No, there's another one after that. There's multiple. I love you all.
The people who overlap are good. When I go on Jovan's show and read that live chat, I'm literally just like, oh man, this reminds me of some of the audience I had in my earlier days where I was doing a lot of like reaction content and stuff. And my guess is those types of people exist in our audience too. They just aren't as encouraged. I discourage them from participating on a different.
So like Taylor Swift fandom versus like Ethel Cain fandom kind of vibes.
I really, there's a core group in Jovan's fandom that I hate. There's I hate all of Forrest's audience 100%. If you like Forrest Valkai, I hate you. That's a joke. I love Forrest Valkai, so how could I hate you? But Forrest has a group of people who are very dedicated to him. And so I'll get these things these chats that are like, hey, it might be your name on the door, but you should never speak if Forrest is on. Only Forrest talks. There's a lot of Forrest supremacists.
I don't think I have that kind of
Well, we have Natalie filter those comments before they get to you.
Okay.
Just kidding. We don't do anything like that. No, you're well liked. You're well liked, but I haven't found that you have a core toxic. And by the way, most of us know we have toxic fans in some groups. Like that there are. I definitely had a super toxic fan base.
I don't think I do.
On Instagram, I think you do.
I don't think I do.
Not on YouTube. I've seen them. On
Instagram?
Yeah. There are people.
Who?
There are people who. Well, I'm not going to get myself in trouble, but I don't think it's big.
Okay.
I think you have a smaller one than average. But as long as there is first of all, by the way, actually, yes, you do. You have a huge toxic core fan group of men. Let's be so like.
What are we meaning by like toxic fan group? Because I think of it being like people that lose all rationality and like are just a fan of that person just to be a fan of that person.
You remember the YouTuber who said to you, or you found out said after seeing that you were being platformed more, something along the lines of, finally the atheist movement has like some hot ass representing it.
Yeah.
I would describe a significant group of the men that are clearly thirsting after you as probably being very sympathetic to that sentiment in your.
I think luckily, here's what's happened. Anytime those guys show up in my comments saying
shamed by
anything
the-
about my appearance, they get blocked or
Yeah,
they get
yeah.
restricted and nobody sees their comments. So I think that's why it
Or they
doesn't
get
build
shamed by
because
me.
yeah, exactly. I literally said
Not a lot of
my
them.
favorite thing. My favorite thing is when I don't have it in me to deal with something, especially on Threads. I just send Jimmy the comment and I go, "Can you
seems
please
like
reply to this misogynist for me?"
I like that you seem to have a knack for knowing that when it's something, I'll have like something clever to respond to.
I do. I see something and
up
I
a good
instantly
one.
go, "This is for Jimmy. This is
Yeah.
not for me.
Jimmy will,
This is for Jimmy."
Jimmy will enjoy this. Jimmy will taste
Yeah.
this and it'll be his favorite meal of the day.
It's like when when you know that your parent is going to side with you on something if you go tattle on your sibling. That's how I feel. I'm like,
yeah.
Jimmy will totally be on my side about this.
So the problem is, whenever you are in a position of public authority or a public figure, parasocial relationships are unavoidable. Now, most people don't know what the word parasocial means, parasocial relationship means, because they usually hear that term brought up with the examples of when it's terrible, like somebody used their parasocial a relationship to exploit somebody, or broadly, when you see somebody like the Paul brothers and they're like advertising and I'll like you more, I'll love you more, this person I never think about, if you buy my $100 fucking hoodie or whatever, and you're gonna get love and appreciation out of me, and you're participating and supporting. And there's a way that a lot of creators lean into it, finding where the balance, because a parasocial relationship is legitimately just the moment you think you kind of know a person, you have a parasocial relationship if you haven't met them. And in some way, it can still be a Zoom, digital, or long distance kind of way, but parasocial relationships are common. They're not all negative, because
You
we
and I have a
relate to people.
parasocial relationship.
No, we don't.
So
But we've never been in the same room as each other. But that we know of, the parasocial relationships are unavoidable.
Oh,
I
that
have
was
parasocial relationships
creepy
with
thing
all
to say.
kinds of people. Well, we both were raised religious. It's possible we crossed paths at some point.
You were
Different ways.
Mormon.
Yeah,
I
but
would have been
I
in
got
trouble.
sent to stuff in the South that wasn't Mormon all the time.
We got a bunch more. Should we read these real quick before we
Yeah.
wrap?
All right.
Thanks, everybody. That was nice at the
Let me put a
end.
bow on the
Oh,
parasocial
yeah, sorry.
relationships
I
are
got interrupted.
unavoidable. Finding the perfect balance is hard, and there are people who have a harder time with it because of the way they actually naturally are. I imagine Forrest being such a positive, pleasant, and happy person, and his mood being a big part of his appeal, has a more difficult time with people showing up expecting a relationship out of him, of some type of friendship, whether it's at conventions or whatever. And so the parasocial expectations are sky high, and that's probably extremely stressful. I think I am the only person at the line who actively discourages people to have any positive feelings about me. And so I don't have to worry about the balance because I've overcompensated. I don't worry about finding where the right amount of I used to, but what's the right amount to make sure that we stay. Now I'm literally just like, I hate all of you. And if you think you relate to me, I'd hate you probably more. And it's easy. It just keeps everybody away. But there's that one person watching right now who knows they're the exception. And you're right. You are. Anyway, I thought that was a funny way to end it. You didn't laugh, so I'm like, it's not clearly a joke. I need you to laugh before I get in trouble. All right, Flibberty Giblets. Oh shoot, I have to take this call. Can you read these and end the show without me? I love you. I have to take this.
I can. Okay. Yeah, of course. Love you. Bye. Everybody else, you're stuck with me. Okay, wait. Can I find them? Luthien, you might have to help me. Where did we leave off?
If you click the funding button, it'll take you to them.
Okay. And do I have to click them or I just can read them?
You can just read them.
Okay. Steeped fungus. I think that's where we left off. Love the show, found through Javon. Jimmy is my spirit animal in a secular way. Happy to see Promise get teeth out on Yucky Guy. There's always some yucky guy on a Monday, I think. I now think of the Sunday show as, where I'm going to have longer, sometimes more interesting conversations with a theist, and Mondays I think of as like some weird misogynist is going to come in and that will be it. Lizzie Dog, prepping for a colonoscopy and endoscopy today. Is that how you say that? Endoscopy? Endoscopy? Today. Thank you all for distracting me from the pain, gas, etc. Love, hugs, and good vibes. All wishing you all the best with all of that. Thanks for hanging with us. I hope it was distracting enough. Green Man Dave, the downside of Promise not being there is that I couldn't give her the crocheted apple and the ducky from Hell, Michigan I brought. The upside is her not seeing me come in late to her presentation. Oh, that's so cool. I am sad that I wasn't there in person. Fliberty, is it Giblets? Giblets? I think the face of the line, Forrest Valcott, is very handsome. You should be so glad that Jimmy wasn't here while I read that one. Infidel, I'm super toxic and I'm a fan. Thanks, Dale. Billy, I'm the only Jimmy psychophant and I pay a lot for that title. Thank you. I am not parasocial, I promise. Thanks so much, Billy. Mike Jones, yay, promise only. Thank you. Is that all of them, Luthien?
I think that's all of them.
I did it! And thanks to you guys, I didn't have to come up with anything to say by myself. That is a wrap on today's show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I will be back. I'll be back on Sunday, actually, and I'll be back next Monday as well. I'm back around now, other than, I think, twice in September or something. But see you all then.